Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Paige DeSorbo, the co-host of Giggly Squad. I have exciting news. McDonald's has all new McCrispy strips. It's chicken made for dipping. Tender, juicy white meat chicken with a golden brown, peppery breading. It's chicken so good it deserves its own sauce. The creamy chili McCrispy strip dip, a sauce that's creamy, savory, and sweet with a little heat. But it works with any of our sauces. I'm personally a barbecue sauce girl. Even sometimes I like ketchup. I'm just like basic sometimes. But I also need it in addition to any new sauces I'm trying. With a new creamy chili McCrispy strip dip, it's chicken made for dipping, only at McDonald's.
Ever wonder what your lashes are destined for? The cards have spoken. Maybelline New York Mascara does it all. Whether you crave fully fan lashes with Lash Sensational, big, bold volume from the Colossal, a dramatic lift with Falsies Lash Lift, or natural-looking volume from Great Lash, your perfect lash future awaits. Manifest your best mascara today. Shop Maybelline New York and discover your lash destiny. Shop now at Walmart.
What it do? It's your boy DJ Nova Fresh, and this is Morning Cup. This time we got a lawyer. That's how we got a lawyer. Y'all want to tune in for this one. This is a good one. So you going to want to, he ain't giving out free legal advice, but he'll drop a couple jewels for you because he say everything costs. So you know how I go. What you got, Trey?
You already called me a juvenile delinquent multiple times, so
I got a lawyer here for you.
Now I got somebody to get me out, so I appreciate that, Chris, for showing up, bro.
My name's Attorney Chris Lacour. I'm located in Alexandria, Louisiana. Right now, I'm mostly practicing criminal law, but I've dabbled in a little bit of everything in my career in these past 15 years. I've done a little bit of everything. But right now, mostly high-profile criminal cases. Well, I guess that's my niche in the market right there. If it's life in prison, I'm your guy.
So is it just in Louisiana, or what areas do you practice in?
The whole state of Louisiana right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to get over to Texas. I'm working on it. On it, but I'm not in a rush to get to Texas. I'll get there soon enough. Believe me, there's enough work in Louisiana to go over.
Oh, well, definitely.
Sure,
what they say,
I already know.
The saying is go to Louisiana on vacation, leave on probation.
Man, look. And then they just, the governor just undid all of our criminal justice reform. He just undid it all. So, it's tough in Louisiana. You get in trouble here now, you get arrested. Everybody does 85% across the board. No good time, no nothing. It's just go to jail and do your time, man. Non-violent, violent, it don't matter. 85%.
Jesus, that's tough, man. That's like federal sentencing.
They basically reverted to what the feds used to be back in the day. Even the feds have loosened up just a little. It ain't as draconian, but you still can get a lot of times in the feds, especially if you come in there with a lengthy history. That usually counts against you in federal court a lot.
Louisiana, they got one of the strongest stand your ground position, right?
Look, I already know. It's helped me win a few cases, stand your ground.
Yeah.
As bad as it was in the Trayvon Martin case, it has helped some of my clients out, believe me. In Louisiana, you can stand your ground. You don't have to run from anybody. But you got to be the right circumstances. And you also got to understand that this matters too. So if you are color, you better make sure you in the right. Like, you got to be extra right. They say we got to work twice as hard to be just as good. Well, you got to be twice as right. If you use self-defense in Louisiana, you're a black man. You better be sure.
I'll call you and you're going to help them, right?
Prayerfully so. Prayerfully so. But
since the changing of all that, have you seen an increase though in wrongful self?
Well, that was what we was all waving the red flag about. I mean, they did the criminal justice reform because the jails were overcrowded anyway. They couldn't house them all. But, they want to be tough on crime. That's what they run their campaigns on. We got to lock them up. And, there's That's code for we got to lock up these brothers and sisters and these brown people and all these people that don't look like us. We got to lock them up, and he just undid it all. And, you know, you got to think about this. A lot of things are in play. The private prison system suffered when they did the criminal justice reform. You don't got as many people in prison. They not making as much money. Of course, they making donations to the governor's campaign. You got to make sure them jails stay full.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have we seen that Armageddon that we all was waving the red flag about? Not quite yet, but I promise you, it's only been since August 1st. Any crime committed after August 1st of last year. So going forward, we only about 6 months in. But I promise you, it won't be long before they're complaining the jails are overcrowded, they're overfull. And I'm sure if Governor Landry is the governor again, he get like the full 8 years. Whoever comes behind him probably going to have to undo that. It's just not, it's not fiscally, Louisiana can't afford it to lock everybody up. It can't.
So you said they went backwards and undid everything that was working.
Well, they undid all of the change that happened, and that happened in 2017, right? So we only had 4 years of criminal justice reform. And I get it. In some places, the crime just got bad. But New Orleans is historically known for bad crime, man. Mm-hmm. But the governor ran on a Get Tough on Crime campaign, and this is the result. Okay. And when you got a Republican governor, Republican legislator, both House and Senate, they're going to do whatever he wants, and that's what he wants. And they undid a lot of stuff. You don't need concealed carry permit no more. You can just carry.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
That's all like enticing them.
More shootings, more people using the gun in circumstances where they think they're right and they're not. And they're going to end up on a murder charge. And so it's just bad politics when you feeding on people's fears and emotions. Mm-hmm. Hey, man. Look, they just made it to where if you were 17, you considered an adult now.
They got a new crop of people to choose from. Yeah. A new crop of criminals.
But this is what they didn't
need. Product for the jail.
They didn't need to pass a law. They was already sending them to adult court. If you committed a murder at 16, they wasn't keeping you in juvenile court. They were sending you up to the adult court. Of course, they have to have a hearing and all of this to get your case moved. But they were already doing that on the heinous crime. You didn't need a law. But here they go. But really, they only talking about us. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. That's my personal opinion.
I mean, you see it. You see it. Yeah. So
you entrenched with it.
You in court. So you
dealing with it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
They had a really bad carjacking case in New Orleans where 4 young black teens carjacked this older white lady. And it was bad. It was horrific. And man, look, they use stuff like that and other crimes to say, hey, we got to do something. Mm-hmm. And as soon as he became governor, we had a special session. And they, like I said, they undid all of the criminal justice reform and put some tougher laws in place or changed the penalties on some laws. So
I want to ask you, speaking of like high profile cases, and you talking about the carjacking situation, but what been the temperature in Louisiana after that Shamsu Den Jabbar incident down there?
Now, I'm not familiar with that one.
Bourbon Street, the Bourbon Street massacre. The guy that drove
the Bourbon Street. You know, I'm not in New Orleans, so I don't know what the temperature is, but I think they're back to business as usual. You got the Super Bowl, you got Mardi Gras around the corner. I got the impression, though, they tried to blame the mayor, put all the blame on her. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, 3 a.m, it was so random. Who knew? You know what I mean? But should they have those barricades in place? I guess so. Maybe that wouldn't have happened. But that man was intent on killing somebody. So somebody was going to die. It's only so much you can prevent. And here's the thing. He's an American citizen who was radicalized. Mm-hmm. Those are the worst. You'll never know when they're going to strike. So the temperature, to me, it looks like it's back to business as usual. But, you know, for this Super Bowl, they have now blocked off even more streets around the Superdome. Mm-hmm. And making it even harder to drive a car up to
and it's already congested there. It's already...
You're going to have to be walking anyway. So,
yeah,
believe me, the security is going to be on 100. But is the city of New Orleans going to stop? No. City of New Orleans not going to stop. What they need to be concerned about is how they going to catch these American citizens who live here and that's radicalized. You never know. You just walk in any place and just shoot it up, and we keep asking for gun reform. They're not going to do it. So guess what? We're going to keep having incidents.
With certain cases, like, would you take any case, or is it some stuff you like, know what, I don't want to touch that because X, Y, Z?
I don't kill for sex crimes, but yeah, would I take any case? Yeah, it's not my job. My job is to defend my client and make sure his rights aren't violated. It's their job to prove he's guilty. You understand? And a lot of times, I've been doing this a long time. I get the impression if I think or not someone did it, but that doesn't bother me because that's not my job. It's not my concern.
So do you ever ask them if they did it or not?
Sometimes I ask. It helps. A lot of times, most of them say they're innocent.
Yeah, everybody innocent.
Look, I peep the BS real easy.
Yeah.
I saw one of your...
what I tell them is this. If I go to court, if you lying to me and I go to court and I get blindsided because you're not being honest, just know if things go left, who is on? And they always say me. Okay, as long as we understand that.
Yeah.
You lying to me, I don't care. I just had that conversation today with a client at the jail. I just was like, look, okay, let's quit the BS.
Yeah.
This is, I'm not stupid. Because really, I was trying to have a grown man talk with him. It wasn't even lawyer, client no more. It was black man to black man. Man, when you going to grow up?
Yeah.
I know BS when I hear it, but guess what? I'm going to do everything in my power to get you out. But just a man-to-man conversation. When you going to grow up? You commit crimes, you're not good at it. You might need to...
Well, I saw one of your TikTok, and I was like, damn, boy, it reminded me of First 48. When First 48 came out, I
can't even watch this show no more.
I'm boy telling on this stuff about Happy Meal, boy, with cheeseburger and fries.
So I got a question. What got you into this field? What made you want to become a lawyer? Like, what inspired you?
Well, you know what? My inspiration should have came from something that happened when I was right before I graduated high school. But what happened was...
Hold on, before you start, we got to say the magnificent Peabody Magnet High School.
That's right.
Got to throw that out there.
Peabody Magnet High. Our high school coach just got inducted to the Naismith Hall of Fame. So
legendary.
Peabody got our alumni is wide, and a lot of us are successful.
Yes.
But I was getting my master's degree. I wanted to be a college professor, and I guess, I don't know, I didn't feel like people had the same passion for learning that I did. So I was like, well, how could I still have that academic pursuit and make money and help people? I like helping people.
Okay.
And law school just popped in my mind. I ended up in law school. Before then, I was kind of just flailing in the wind, just in school. I had got my bachelor's, got my master's. I was just kind of flailing. I was like, I guess I'll be a professor. That makes sense to me because of the things I like.
What school did you graduate from for your undergrad?
Southern University.
Southern. Where did you go for your master's?
Southern University.
Where'd you go for your law degree?
SULC, Southern University Law Center. Look, I bleed blue and gold, Cass. I do, my brother. But Southern is the same way I feel about Peabody, I feel about Southern. They go together for me.
Okay.
And I ended up there, and ever since then, I've been practicing law. It's been an experience, you know what I mean? Because it's not just the practicing law part. I didn't realize that I was going to have to be running a business, too.
Yeah.
And if I would give anybody any advice if they want to be a lawyer, not only do you have to understand the law, you got to understand business. It's very, very important. And so when anybody going to school and they're like, well, I want to be a lawyer, and what should I major in or minor in? Well, if it's something you really want to do, well, just do that. But you should have a minor in either English or business or both. Because the English is going to teach you, you're going to learn how to write if you pick up an English minor or an English major. And business going to help you figure out how to run your business if you're going to open up your own law firm.
Wow.
So business and your writing and reading skills are very important. So if you're going to college, but a lot of people may say, well, I want a criminal justice degree. That's fine. Just minor in those two things because they will help in the long run. That was the part I was missing because I got out of law school, no real prospects, nobody trying to offer me a job. I wasn't at the top of the class.
Okay.
And so, man, I just had to hang my shingle and go for it. And we come from Peabody, so we used to make good grades, but law school knocked me down a few pegs. Boy, I had to realize.
That's demanding. I mean, Southern, one of the top law schools in the nation, and you already know it's demanding. Law school,
look, man,
you can't even work a job for law school.
Look, I'm going to tell you, people can say what they want. Southern University makes the best lawyers. We usually have a low bar passage rate, so people look at us skeptical, but we make great lawyers because a lot of law schools, all they do is teach the exam. That's why they have high bar passage rates. But they're not really teaching them how to be lawyers. No, Southern teach you how to be a lawyer, and you got to study to pass the exam. And really, passing the exam is on you. It's not on the school.
Yeah.
You should be on that on your own. These Southern University, I owe them everything. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would say what should have inspired me to be a lawyer, and I should have been thinking about this as soon as I went to college. I'll tell this story very quickly. When I was 18, and another classmate of mine, a friend of yours as well, Jonathan Goins, we call ourselves going to the Greek show at Lafayette. I don't know if you remember, they used to have the Greek show. Yeah. And we were still seniors. So we told our moms, we going to be one place, man, we in Lafayette having a good time. We got the, we got the Hunch Punch Gin. We trying to get down there and try to get into a club and make it happen. But nothing really pop out, but we coming back late. It's 2 a.m. We get pulled over leaving Woolworth, dropping off Courtney Logan. He was with us. You know him as well. Yeah. Man, they pull us over. When they pull Jonathan out the car, they ask him where he coming from. He say one thing, but when he get to the car and ask me and Jonathan's little brother, we say something different. Boy, I know it. We in the back seat of the police car, about to be arrested. I talked our way out of the back of the police car, got the cuffs off of us. They let us go home, but the cop called both our mamas before we left the scene. So when he got us back to the village where my mama was at, both our moms was there, but that's where I should have known I should have been a lawyer because we got out of the back of the seat of the police car. And then I had to go to the mayor's court because they found the alcohol. I took responsibility, so I had a citation. I went in there, talked to the judge. He dismissed the ticket. At 17, I did that. So I should have known. I should have known then. I should have been a lawyer, but it didn't come to me till later.
Yeah, and you're successful at it, and Jonathan's successful as well.
That's right.
As a lawyer, both of y'all. I'm proud of both of y'all. I see y'all. I'm like, man, they doing their thing. What's crazy is Jonathan represented someone I knew, his sister, the case in Dallas where the police shot through the house and killed the girl.
Yeah.
I worked with her brother.
Okay.
Yeah, me and her brother worked together. So he represented that family in that case. I'm just proud to see how y'all carry yourself, knowing y'all story, knowing how y'all came up, and then seeing y'all on this level, presenting people and making sure they get their fast shake at court. In the place where being black and then it is already give you 50 points behind. And then how is it being a black lawyer? How was that for you?
And look, wherever I go now, I got respect, but I had to earn every bit of it. Starting off, I'm the first everything in my family. As far as what I'm doing as a profession. I used to go in the courtrooms, and it was a little intimidating because most of the lawyers would be white. They all knew each other, or he knew his dad who was a lawyer, and they all congregating and, fellowshipping. And I just being there I almost feel like I'm trying to find my way. But once I came into my own as a lawyer and knew that I was a good lawyer, none of that really mattered to me anymore. And now I wherever I go, if they know of me, I got their respect. Okay. From the judges to the other lawyers. But I earned that by my work too. You know what I mean? I earned the respect that I get. And I value it because they not just giving out respect like that. Not the type of respect I get. But I earned every bit of it from my hard work. You know what I mean? Yeah. I had to put in the work. I had to show people that I'm a good lawyer. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, whatever, experienced or not. I had to show people I know what I'm doing. And once people start realizing, oh, man, Chris know what he doing, I just started getting respect, and I earned it, and I cherish it because you can lose it very easily. Lose people's respect.
So what's something that like a person just out of law school and they want to get into criminal law, what's some tips or suggestions that you have for them to start? Where should they start so they can really earn their keep?
Man, if you want to learn how to practice criminal law, if you can find a mentor who does it and let you, if you out of law school, got your license, and they'll let you work with them, that's a good way to learn. Another way to learn is do public defender work. I know a lot of people look down on public defenders, but if you want to learn the ropes in criminal law, being a public defender will teach you. And you do have to learn on the fly. And it's a large caseload, and you don't get paid as much as prosecutors. But if you can handle it, you can be a top-notch attorney. Like, I've become the attorney I am because of my public defender work. And I'm still doing it today. And I recently just won a double homicide case. It's public defender work. I treat them the same as my paid clients. I like to win. I don't like losing. So people get it twisted. People think public defenders are horrible lawyers. No, I like winning.
Yeah.
Most cases are losers, man. And you in a dog fight trying to find a loophole or bluff a prosecutor and thinking that this weakness in your case, if I exploit it, everything gonna fall apart for you. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing a little bluffing. Sometimes the facts are all in my favor, and I'm very confident. Just let them know, look, you can do it. You can go through the motions. I'm going to win. But it's okay. We can go through the motions. I used to be like a bulldog with it, but I had to scale back. One day the judge told me, she said, Chris, I don't want you to have a heart attack in my courtroom. I had to think about it. Yeah, I'm over 40 now. I'm not in my 20s no more. I can't act like this. So I've scaled it back. Actually, I'm a nice lawyer. I treat it like Larry Bird. Tell you what I'm going to do, I do it, and see if you can stop me.
So it's some gamesmanship and some competitiveness in the law world. That's good when you have a lawyer that's passionate about it and that want to win. What you got, Trey?
I was going to ask, bring it back to, I guess, like when you say you was a kid and you was back in the back of that car seat. What advice would you give a young black man right now in today's age, because laws change a lot, especially like they got a new law down in Florida that just proposed or just came out with where you can't even like film the police within a certain amount of feet.
Yeah. I know.
Are there any like what advice would you give a young black man who's in that same position that you were, that maybe don't have the communication skills to be able to talk himself out of that situation? Anything that has been changed in Louisiana that these young brothers need to be wary of and know how to move them on these streets?
You know what? I think the problem is that when we were growing up, our parents were so concerned about us emulating the music and all the stuff we was listening to. But I think we had enough sense to know that stuff wasn't real life. These kids don't. What I would tell them is don't emulate everything you see. That's what I would tell them. As far as dealing with the police, there's different apps now you can have on your phone that'll automatically turn your phone on and turn it into a recording, both video and audio device, if you're stopped by the police. Now, if you are coming on the scene and you want to record because you think somebody's going to be messed over, just follow the law. That's what I would tell you. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's been challenged, and I don't know where they at with that. But as far as you as a young black man, like I say, there's apps. I've seen these devices now where you can it's a pouch that attaches to your window. You can put all your identifying information in there so you don't have to raise down the window if you come into contact with them. It's always good to have a lawyer on speed dial too. But I would tell you, unfortunately, just comply so you can go home. But don't allow them to violate your rights, meaning you don't have to give them consent to search nothing. Don't consent to giving them a statement. If they arrest you and read you your rights, there's only one word you need to say: lawyer.
Okay.
I want my lawyer, and they will leave you alone. You can't explain your way out of an arrest, okay? What happened to me that night, freak circumstance. Maybe he had some sympathy for me. I like to think I talked my way up out of it. Maybe he just had sympathy because we 17-year-old kids. I don't know. Because one cop was 18. He was just a year older than us, and the other one was an older guy. And the older guy, I like to think I had the gift of gab and got us out of there. Okay?
Yeah.
But hey, that's not going to happen for everybody. All right? And now I had another situation like that too, where I was in handcuffs and I walked out of there. But hey, don't think that's going to happen for you, okay?
Yeah.
Please, do not think that's going to happen for you, all right? I've been blessed. Like I said, what God got for me, can't nobody take from me, okay? He got me as a lawyer for a reason. I like to think I'm doing the Lord's work. Being arrested ain't no part of that. So he's not going to let nothing happen to me if he wants me to keep doing his work. And guess what? I'm going to keep doing it. So that's the symbiotic relationship me and him got. He knows he got me here to do work. Lord, take care of it. And he always does.
What's some things you would tell people, like say somebody was wrongfully accused of a crime and they wasn't even there? Like what's some things that can help them and help you prepare to get them out of it and show their innocence?
Well, I would give a few suggestions. Number one, if you're on probation or parole, just don't get in the car with anyone. Please, like, stop just accepting random rides. Because you all know if this person pick you up, how they ride. Whether, how they say ride dirty, you know they riding dirty. Stop making silly decisions that'll get you arrested. You know what I mean? That's what I would tell people, like, because I've maybe run up when it comes to, like, when I say career criminal, meaning they could show up in court and represent themselves, really wouldn't need a lawyer. Very few people fit that mold. Everybody else is just stupid people breaking the law. And I don't mean to call people stupid, but, man, people don't think things through and they end up, once they get to jail and then they like, well, how I got here? Because it's easy to get there.
Yeah.
It's hard to leave. Please understand, people. I just finished the case. My client almost sat in jail 4 years before we won the trial. 4 years of his life. So,
and there's no money at the end of that either, right?
Man, look. And the worst part is he actually hired a private lawyer, paid him all but not all his money. Man, that lawyer withdrew from the case. And guess who became his lawyer? A public defender. I was like, you wasted tens of thousands of dollars. But I would just say your decision-making, man. Bad decisions lead to bad consequences. If you're not thinking it through, if you see this person and you say it's on site, guess what? Life come with that. And you can't be in court crying after. Or the funny part is they'll come in on a murder charge and be like, tell them I'll take 10 years. On a body? Come on, man. Yeah, they may offer you a plea deal, like 40 years. So, and remember this, Louisiana is like one of the few, if not the only state. Murder is just life. There's not like 25 to life possibility of parole. No, in Louisiana, me out loud, first and second degree murder is life, period. You know what's next down from that? Manslaughter, which could be 0 to 40 years. That's the in between. And most times it's 40 years when they come with the deal, 40. Unless you got some good circumstances to maybe say self-defense or something like that. But usually it's 40 years they're offering.
Wow.
And then you crying about your baby and they messing over your baby. Or how you don't know your 16-year-old son living in your house and got an assault rifle or got a Glock with a switch on it? How you don't know this?
Boy, they got all the switches. Boy, they got
they
apps to make switches these days.
They on to the teeth. They doing drive-bys on graduation parties.
Jesus.
Just, hey, man, it's wild. It's like the Wild Wild West. And my question is, I keep asking myself, when we were growing up, when people were breaking the law, it's usually because they grew up with nothing. They trying to make some money. They trying to take care of the family. They want to have nice things. At least they were, you were trying to do something right, semi-right. Now, I don't even know if they sell drugs to make money no more. They just doing it. And then they kill each other behind it.
Yeah, they just want to catch a body.
Yeah, or I say something about you on Instagram and then it's on site and now I'm facing life in prison.
So speaking of social media, you're seeing a lot of people get caught up with social media things where they have guns with switches on them and the police come pick them up. How is that legal? Like, what's the law behind that? Like,
I mean, it's like a confession on tape. If I'm a felon and the felony that I've been convicted of is a predicate that doesn't allow me to have a firearm, and then me and my friends make music videos with everybody got a assault rifle and and you going to jail.
Yeah.
Especially if your probation officer see it. And you know what a lot of defense always be, it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, maybe.
So how do you say you are like a movie star and you're on probation, or you're an entertainer and you do want to have guns? Should you have like a disclaimer or something? Prop, this is the prop, or what should you?
Yeah, I've seen people do that, but
that's what's going on right now with our boy.
If you got a probation or parole officer that's an a-hole, Because you being in and out of jail is in his hands. So if he don't believe you, he could arrest you and say, well, nah, I don't believe you. I would just say, if you are living a life that requires that type of protection, you need to hire people who can have the guns on them. But, unfortunately, people are not going to do right. But that is what it is. You know what I mean? You can't do much about that. All we can do is the lawyers come in, try to make sure that they are following the proper legal procedure, maybe do a little legal maneuvering, maybe a little favor, because you always coming in here handling your business, and the judge be like, all right, I'm going to give because it's you, I'm going to give your client another chance. Now, you ain't going to get a lot of chances, but you get it. Sometimes it's just because the lawyer is who he is, and the judge may say, okay, all right, Mr. Lacour, I'm going to give your client one more chance. Now, he's not going to say that on the record, but you can get a feel of it. It's because of you. That don't happen often, but sometimes you get favor because it's your lawyer. Sometimes you get favor because it's your first time. Sometimes the judge may just be nice and want to give you one more chance before he make you go do this time that they put off because you on probation. And it depends on the seriousness of what you've done. You know what I mean? So it depends.
So are there any aspirations to maybe go and be a judge one day or get into politics or whatever?
I'm good on that, man. I'm too straightforward. I'm too straightforward. Judges, people won't say this, but a judge is really just a referee. The prosecutor and the defense, we the players.
Yeah.
And the judge calling the files when they happen.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people say it's the judge's courtroom. For me personally, it's really the prosecutor's courtroom. It's his cases. It's his docket. He decides what he wants to take to trial. He make the deals. He take away the deals. Now, where the judge got the power is to decide when each side objecting to the other, who following the law or not. Okay. He also has the power to accept plea deals or not. If he don't like the deal we come up with, he can say, nah, I think that person need more time. You have to come up with a better plea. I'm not accepting it. Now, he can do that. But outside of that, he like the ref. He calling the files or non-files, however you want to put it.
So that's interesting to hear that. I never heard it like that. What you got, Trey? What's your take?
I was thinking about Kyron Lacey. I know he's about to declare for the. Actually, he just got pulled from the Senior Bowl, and I was just thinking about, he's not getting a lot of people not talking about it, but it's a major thing that's going down in Louisiana. Star football player about to go to the league, and then he got jammed up with that vehicle incident, and then I saw like they had similar cases with the white boy who got off on it, and it wasn't a big deal. What do you think about that? That's a high-profile case that kind of stood out to me, and I wonder like how it's going to play out into like his draft stock, his money, and also like his mindset. Because his image, like some of the stuff that he was doing on the field, I don't know if they using that to.
Look, man, when you're in that type of life, the microscope is on you. And I know you guys have noticed lately, if you like an actor or sports athlete or something, they make it seem like it's such a privilege to be that. And you got to be so perfect. That's why I tell you, when it's unfortunate, but black and brown skinned people have to be twice as cautious. You have to be clean as a whistle. It's just what it is. And I know they kids, but somebody got to be telling them this. Now, if they make the wrong decision, that's just what it is, and hopefully they can come back from it. But we have to, unfortunately, teach our children we have to be twice as good. We have to be twice as much not in trouble. It's always more for us, okay? Even now, look at it now. Every bad thing all of a sudden is being blamed on us. Every time I turn on the TV, the president just blamed the plane crash on DEI hires. Like, come on. So that should tell you that America still will blame us. We will fall harder from grace than a white person. And that's unfortunate. But that's the state we're in. And so you have to train yourself on how to be, man. Hey, man, when I first became a lawyer, I was still going out to the club just a little. I would go. Man, you know how people used to just be in the club, taking pictures of the club and posting them everywhere? Man, I used to have to go up to them. Don't take no picture of me. You took a picture of me? Let me see. Erase it. Man, look, let's take a picture. Cup behind me in my pocket.
Yeah.
And eventually I stopped going. I went on ahead and eased out there, all of doing that. You won't catch me many places because people watching what I'm doing. Some kid may be watching me and be like, man, I want to be like Mr. Lacour. Can't be on the evening news about something stupid, okay? And God forbid, because we nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, but can't be on the evening news. I got children. I got a wife. I got a family. A lot of people depend on me outside of my clients, but depend on me because, I mean, you know, when you are someone like me in the community I'm in, people gonna lean on you.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. You know,
one advice I saw you give, and I thought it was pretty unique because it was real. It was you, I don't know how your day went that day, but you was like, don't ever get jammed up and tell the police the truth, but then come lie to the lawyer.
It's an epidemic, man. It's worse than COVID, man. Half the people in prison right now because they confessed. Police didn't have to do no work. You did all the work for them. All right, let me say this. Number one, if you get called into an interrogation room and they read you that waiver, don't you waive your rights?
They bring you that McDonald's bag.
Man, they don't even need that. Okay? They don't even need that. But what I'm saying is crazy. They come in. You know what I think it is? A lot of people think they can explain it. Man, look, if the police got you at the police station, you're not going back to the house. All you should tell them is, excuse me, hey, if you got a warrant, you just come home, arrest me. Let me call my lawyer. That's all you should do. Man, they tell everything. When I say everything, everything. And when I get there, comes the word. And you know what they always tell me? You working for them. Because, you know, a lot of the public defender clients think you work for the other side. You're like, you working for them.
Yeah, that's the misconception in law.
I'm thinking to myself, you already told them everything. So why won't you talk to me?
Because, you know, they don't understand your profession. So when they see public defenders, when they see lawyers, period, talking to the DA and they're laughing and joking and stuff, they don't understand that you're professions. This is what y'all do for a living.
Man, I work with these people every day. Of course, I'm going to laugh and joke with them, and then I'm going to try to beat them in trial.
Yeah.
They trying to win too, but we nice about it. Let me tell you, man, I used to be a pit bull about it. I was a dog coming to court. Man, I had to change my ways. I had to change my style because, look, like I said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. And it make no sense for me to get upset. I'm going to let you. Now, what I don't like is dirty tricks. And some lawyers will pull dirty tricks to try to win. But you ain't got to do all that if you good. If you good, you good. If you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. I don't need to pull no tricks on you.
Is there ever a time as a lawyer where you're like, man, I'm not going to win this one, so let's try to make a deal to, like, get less time?
There's all the time, man. Okay. A lot of these cases, look, most crimes are not playing, okay? When I say they not playing, okay? Yeah. All right? But that don't necessarily mean the state is going to have enough to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Would I like people to plan their crimes? It would sure help me out a lot, but that's not. I'm not giving no advice like that. All right.
Yeah.
What I will say is that a lot of these cases, I'm there holding hands, trying to make sure you'll get to come home one day, and maybe this family gets some type of justice. But my job is to try to get you home. And you know, dealing with murder cases, I understand everybody's not gonna make it home. I understand that. But I give every case all I got. If the police or the prosecutor make any mistake, of course I'm going to try to exploit it. I want to get my people home. But like I said, because Louisiana's murder statutes doesn't have any flexibility with sentencing, usually the only thing we can usually come up with is a manslaughter, and they usually want a higher number. And hey, man, if you're going to give me that, if I'm 50 and I'm facing a manslaughter and I could get up to 40 years, I might as well go to trial on the murder. If the plea deal is man and 40, you might as well prove it at that point. Yeah. Sometimes it gets in that zone where it's like, maybe they probably got enough to win, but we're not just going to take no deal and send you away. Make them prove it. Forget it. Make them prove it.
So you try federal cases as well?
My first jury trial was in federal court, which was nerve-wracking as hell. Man, I was scared to death. Federal court is a different monster, okay? You have to understand that. State court is like the shootout at the OK Corral. Federal court, totally different. But because of that, after that one trial, my trial skills took off after that. And yes, I do cases in federal court, but it's far and few between. Most times people can't even afford a lawyer in federal court. Most people get public defenders in federal court, or they get assigned a lawyer by the court who the court pays, because a lot of times people come to federal court, especially on them RICO drug cases and stuff. The 10 guys from the neighborhood all buying dope from this one guy, but they don't all necessarily know each other, and they own a RICO. I mean, them guys ain't got no money. So a lot of them end up with public defenders. And federal court is different. If they bring you to court, federal court almost has, a 99% conviction rate. So a lot of times you just in there to make sure they don't get thrown away forever. But every now and then, you might get one where you get to actually try it, and you can actually use your lawyering skills. And for example, the trial I had in federal court, my guy was already doing 15 years in federal prison. And they were charging him with trying to bring in marijuana during one of his visits from his family. And so he was charged with contraband in a penal institution. He already doing 15 years. He like, look, they going to have to prove it. I'm already in here. And it made my job easy to try the case, because it wasn't that pressure of, man, I need to see if I can get him a deal. And I almost won. Because the U.S. attorneys were just as green as I was, but I had a better understanding of how to do a trial, and I was running circles around them. And they had a senior attorney actually coaching them from the front. Man, I swear, he calling timeouts, coaching them during the trial. It was weird. Now, I was in there by myself in the big courthouse, in the federal courthouse, the ceiling like 30 feet tall. It really feels like some, King Arthur draconian type thing. The drapes on the windows are 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
And we in there all day. It's freezing cold. You can't see outside. But, man, I wouldn't trade it for the world. And that was the catalyst of me becoming a great attorney. You know what I mean? I started trying cases after that, and, man, I just went straight to the top from there, man. That was 2012, if I'm not mistaken. By then, I had been practicing 2 years.
What's one of your biggest highlight cases?
Courtney Coco. She was murdered in 2004. I don't know if you were still around Alexandria at the time, but she was murdered. They found her body in Texas, and they spent 20 years trying to get somebody to trial, and they finally did, and I represented the guy, and we lost, though, and he's doing life. But when I say, the most important people didn't think he was not guilty. They voted guilty, which was the jury. But nobody else in the courtroom thought I got it wrong. And so that one kind of haunts me a little bit, because the prosecutor, he never even put together a coherent theory. He was just throwing theories out there. I knocked down every piece of evidence, but I lost. And so that case haunts me a little bit, because I think that man is innocent. Or if he's not innocent, they didn't prove their case. And so then the case went up on appeal. I didn't handle the appeal, and he lost the appeal too. So even now to this day, I think about how can I help him, because, once you lose a jury trial, it's hard to bring it back. But that case was on Dayline NBC highlight that case.
I'll send you that link, Trey. I'll send you that link.
And it was on in April of last year. And I forget what season and what episode. I might could look it up while we're here talking, but I got to do that. That's probably the biggest case. Maybe that in the Marksville shooting case from 2016, where the 7-year-old little boy was killed when those city marshals shot into the car.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. Tender, juicy, and its own sauce. Would you look at that? Well, you can't see it, but trust me, it looks delicious. New McCrispy strips, now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Derek Stafford and North Greenhouse. And you know Derek as well, Cass. And we represented Derek. And I will say it's between them two, because that one was a big case too, man. Look, I was on NBC Nightly News one night. I come out the courthouse. So that was a pretty big one too. We got him a manslaughter. He was on trial for murder. He was found guilty of the lesser offense of manslaughter. It was a 10-2 verdict. That was the time in Louisiana that you only need 10 jurors to convict a person. And of course, that law was based in racism. And then, they changed the law where 10-2 was unconstitutional. And whoever his lawyers was after that, when the law changed, they didn't move fast enough. And then the Supreme Court of Louisiana decided that the change in the law wasn't retroactive. And so he didn't get the benefit of it. So he's still sitting in prison, even though he shouldn't be.
Yeah. That whole case is, all right, he was doing his job, executing his job, the duties of his job. He didn't know the child. It wasn't his intent to kill a child. He was getting ran over by a truck. Like, it's clear as day on the video, he was getting ran over by a truck. The truck, like, you see so many cop videos where if the person hits the cop or backs into the cop, they shoot into the car. And the cop is innocent, right? Because the vehicle's a weapon.
That's why Blue Lives Matter is a joke. And it only works for certain people. And no police officers stood behind him. Yeah. And you know what was crazy? Even at his sentencing, the father who was driving said he should only, when he gave his victim impact statement, he said my client should have only gotten, he was like, he would have been okay if he got 10 years. But the court maxed him out on the 40.
And I know Derek, and he never had an ill bone in his body,
I would say this, man. Derek, we thought we knew. Derek history wasn't so great by the time I took his case, man. It took us a week to pick a jury because they had some people coming in there saying how much they hated him as a police officer, just how he treated people.
Okay.
But did he deserve 40 years in prison? No, man. And we did our best to keep people off the jury who didn't like him. And that was surprising. Like, some of those jurors would get up there and be like, they just straight up tell you, I can't be fair. And then they tell us some interaction with him and a ticket and just how much they couldn't stand him. And it was just, man, that was a hard trial. So man. That was a trial.
You couldn't move it out of that jurisdiction? Or
tried, and then the judge denied the venue change. Believe me, I tried everything.
Okay. So explain the jury process. How does that work?
Well,
jury selection.
We call it voir dire or voir dire. They send out jury notices to people that's registered to vote. They may look at people with driver's license, whatever the parish may look at, because each parish is different as far as how they send out their notices, whether they send them out certified, whether they do anything about you not appearing. But besides that, they send out the notices. The people come in. We separate them into panels of so many people, and then we put each panel in there, and the judge gets to ask some questions, and the prosecutor do, and I do, and we all get a chance to ask them questions to see if they can be fair and impartial if they get picked for the jury. We can challenge anybody for cause, and we get as many challenges for cause as we want. And then you have preemptory challenges where you can just get rid of anybody because you just don't want them. And you only have 12 of those.
Okay.
So you can challenge for cause as many times as you want. You can challenge preemptory. You only get 12. And so it's a real chess game about keeping jurors, getting rid of jurors, making sure that the prosecutors don't get rid of too many minorities, and you have to raise what's called a Batson challenge. So it's the besides for defense attorney, in my opinion, besides the opening, closing, and cross-examination during the trial, picking the jury that's damn near number one most important thing. You get a good jury, and you want people to be fair and impartial and not be bullied into making a decision and compromising. So like in Derek Stafford's trial, I believe the jury compromised because you had two people who didn't want to do nothing. One wanted murder, and the one black man say, they never got to where I wanted to vote at. So I think he was going to vote not guilty. Okay. But the other 10 people compromised, I believe, on manslaughter. And it's my firm opinion, it's my firm belief that a parent is most responsible for their child than anybody. You in that car high on methamphetamines, riding around with your autistic child who can barely communicate because you don't want to stop for the police because you don't want to go to jail. In my mind, you take the brunt of that responsibility. I would never put my child in that situation. Take your butt to jail. Yeah. You'll get out.
Sounds like the legal system is a tricky battle in Louisiana. If there's like one law that you can change tomorrow, what would it be in Louisiana?
All the criminal justice reform they just undid.
Group it all together.
All of it. When I say all of it. Man, this is ridiculous, man. We come so far and then we take 10 steps back.
Yeah, Gary Chambers, he speak out a lot about that too, about everything that they kind of wiped out and changed.
Man, when we going to get out of this Jim Crow mindset? And see, this the thing. Unfortunately, all those racist people from our grandparents' era, all they did was pass it on to their kids, people in our parents' era, and then their parents passing on to people in our era. And it's just keep getting passed down and down. And what's even crazy is Louisiana's so mixed.
Yeah.
It's mixed. I'm Creole. Never have nobody in Africa last name Lacour. Come on, man. I got white people. I'm sure if I run my DNA, I'm going to have some white cousins that's right down the road.
Oh, you got it right down. You know 20 minutes away.
You already know. So this is what I'm saying. Why are we so racist and stereotypical and
it's
so
passed
everything?
Down. Like you said, it's passed down from generation to generation.
I
was thinking, like, even the nasty part of their history, it seemed like they proud of it. You know what I'm saying? You can't even like you show them like the nasty parts. That's why a lot of times they don't want us to. They want to wipe it out and get rid of it. But I think like a part of them is like they proud of that.
They got a Confederate monument at the courthouse downtown here in Alexandria. They can't never figure out how to move it because they don't know who it belongs to.
That's the key.
Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Like help it make sense. Like nobody wants that. Like this not the Confederate States of America. This is the United States.
Somebody just needs to go with a
courthouse lawn. Help
just
it
go
make
drive
sense.
into it. Somebody needs to just go drive into it. Shoot.
But not me. Man, look, they'll run you up a flagpole. You go damage that thing.
I know, right? I know.
But you talked about pardons earlier and Trump, letting all them criminals loose who did insurrection. Man, my boy Boosie been trying to get pardoned, man. He done went on every platform known to man asking Trump to give him the pardon, man. What do you got to do to get the pardon? Go ahead, get my dog Boosie the pardon, man. Come on, man. I know you got some people down there.
Kim Kardashian. She got that's how she got the other people out.
Yeah.
You got to call Kim Kardashian a non-lawyer. Don't call no regular lawyer. You got to call a celebrity.
How does that work, though? How does pardons work? Because a buddy of mine, with the last, somebody in his family got pardoned, and everybody was like, dang, I thought you had to pay a lot of money to be able to, get people pardoned. You know how that whole system works?
Man, sometimes it's political favors, okay? Sometimes it's like Biden trying to protect people who may be people may try to go after, okay? But usually, in my mind, it usually comes for political favors. You donate a lot to that campaign, and somebody talking in the ear of the president. That's why so many of them don't happen till right before he leaves office, whoever the president is.
Because it's going to cause
it may cause uproar. But if I'm on the way out.
Yeah, like this is last year. This is last term. So that's why he came day one and pardoned all those people. Because what you going to do about it? You're not going to elect me? I'm not running.
This is what people got to remember. Donald Trump is already a lame duck president. The only thing he got right now is control of both houses of Congress. But by the midterm elections, he's going to lose at least one. And once he loses full control of the Congress, his last 2 years, the Democrats will never agree to nothing, whichever house they take over. And if they take over both, he really will become lame duck. We going to have a turbulent few years because he's turbulent. That's how he lives his life. So, yes, it's going to be a little chaos, but I would tell people don't fret. He's lame duck already. A lot of the stuff he's doing is illegal and won't go forward. But what it will do is disrupt our everyday lives. How much of this, this what the majority wanted? Hey, man, you're going to have to lay in it, but we're going to be all right. You know what I mean?
Damn, so Boosie ain't...
Nah, man, he got a chance. He He got to get to the right people.
Yeah,
He got to call Kim Kardashian. You know what I mean? I can't get him to pardon. Okay.
Now Kim K ain't gonna work with Trump. They ain't gonna work with that.
You forgot
she did. She got him
that
out.
black lady out.
And she was the reason why he did the criminal reform bill. He did that criminal justice reform. Kim Kardashian pushed behind that.
I'm gonna give Trump. That's what I will give him credit for. There was some criminal reform. He signed the bill. He's sentencing in federal court. Like right now, they have it to where if it's your first time coming in there and you don't really have a record, there's a safety valve and you go right into it. And you don't do that much time. It's only if your record is extensive or you're on probation or parole when you come to federal court for something else. Well, the sentencing guidelines are pretty much going to slam you.
Okay.
But I had a Fed case where they were trying to put my client at the top of the conspiracy. However, because he had no real prior criminal record, he got the safety valve. And this was right after Trump took office and he signed that criminal justice reform. So he did do that. And I got to give him a little credit for that because nobody else had did it. Mm-hmm. Other than that, though, he's done nothing to help anybody. Everything for Trump is self-serving, man. He's just trying to make money. He could care less about the Republicans, the evangelicals, Democrats. Man, that man looking for a check.
Well, that's stunning right now, boy. He got
stunning. Man,
I boy got a hit list, boy. I would see people get. I'm trying not because they just had DEI at the end of their title, but I was to get them out of there. They fired. Well, I'm like, God,
go home.
Oh, man, I ain't even had nothing to do with it, baby.
I got a question. Or how do you balance your work life and your home life? So how do you balance the two? Because being a lawyer, you watch TV and it's like it feel like it's a 24-hour job because you're constantly getting phone calls. And how do you balance that?
Man, you know what? I got to know when to turn off, know when I'm burnt out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, though, I just got some things I live by. You text or call me for 8 a.m., you ain't getting no response from me. I don't care if you paid me $1 million. You're just not getting a response. After 8 p.m. at night, it ain't no way I could help you. So why are you calling me? If Dre just got arrested at 9 p.m., just call me in the morning because I can't get him out of there. I can't do nothing. I ain't calling no judge. You got to be a special client for me to use the judge cell number at 9 p.m. at night. Real talk. Or a family member. If it's a family member, sure. My aunt, uncle, my brother, sister, yeah, I'll call the judge at 9 o'clock for them. But, man, as a client, you got to be somebody real special. Or you done paid a real nice ticket, and I can't tell you no. I got to do what you say. Because the client is the boss, okay? But there got to be rules, boundaries. You got to take vacations. It's hard to let go. You know what I mean? Okay. But what I started doing is certain times of the year, if I see I want to do something, I just make sure I don't plan no court dates around that week. Just little things. Or how you plan your calendar is so important.
Have you ever did family law? Have you ever did that?
I remember at the beginning I said I've done a little bit of everything. So yeah, I did it. I hate it.
What about have you ever did white collar crimes like tax evasion or the high level?
Nobody who's like running no type of money laundering ring or nothing. But yeah, you get people who try to forge checks and credit card fraud and stuff like that. And, they usually only really call that white collar in federal court if somebody like stealing from the corporation or something. But normally it'd be like petty stuff. People bouncing checks, stealing checkbooks, stealing credit cards. But like a major embezzlement case, he just stole $100 million. No, I haven't got one of those yet.
Tell me about this case right here. I got one for you. Right, it's a high profile case too. You get the phone call and she's like, "Yep, I'm calling because I tried to catch this Lyft ride home and they wouldn't let me in the car because of my weight."
What? And when I saw that she didn't got a lawyer, I said, "What lawyer took this foolishness?" Right? I'm just curious. What lawyer took this foolishness? Does she have a suit? Maybe it's discrimination, but I don't know, man. That one kind of sus. I was like, I don't know about that one.
No, there's no pathway to winning on that one.
Maybe, but what state is this in?
She got Michigan.
Okay, but maybe Michigan got a law.
That's what I was
Check this
telling
out. See,
I was
check this
telling-
out now.
Go ahead, go ahead. Let's hear it.
You said jury selection matter now. She pick she get a chunked out jury.
Okay, let me ask you
If
this.
she get a trunked out jury, she ain't gonna win because they don't believe in giving you the,
Let me
you
ask you
black.
I said chunky.
This is what I'll say. Let me ask you this. What was her real damages? Her pride was hurt. Her feelings.
She don't.
Ain't get no money for that, man.
My thing is, she can't even claim her pride or anything because she posted the video. Nobody would have known that private conversation happened until she posted the video. So all the damages that came after is self-inflicted.
I would have to agree. You know, you're supposed to mitigate your damages, not make them worse.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would agree. I wouldn't take that lawsuit. No, I wouldn't have. Most lawyers would have kicked her down the road to the next lawyer. I'd been like,
I think they probably just take it and hopefully live settles.
Maybe.
That's what they're shooting for. And then they're going to eat all the money up anyway. She probably get $5,000 out of it.
Nah, man, look, soon as that happened, they put another video out of her performing and she fell backwards, man.
Yeah.
She couldn't even stand up. Hey, man.
Can't even stand up.
I'm not here to talk about her personally, but come on, man. I don't know if I could blame the man for saying, nah, you can't get in my car, man.
She can't fit this down.
Oh, it's his car.
Exactly.
It's his car. It's his prerogative. You know?
Yeah.
I know Big Lives Matter don't like this one.
He feared for his safety. It was a safety issue.
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, it's a safety issue. How's she going to fit the seatbelt?
I don't know, man. I do. You know what? I think people are just too entitled about everything.
Yeah.
And not taking no responsibility or accountability for anything. Like, come on, man. Like this other rapper where Snoop was telling him to stop eating the snacks or something, and dude rapped on stage with an oxygen cylinder, and that's a lot. Now look, hey man, live your life how you want, but come on, man, if you present yourself in a certain way, what you think people gonna do? They gonna talk.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about perception. That's why I tell people, you know, as a lawyer or of anything professional, you gotta carry yourself a certain way. You just can't be out here any old way. Expect people to respect you, right? It just don't work like that. And then expect people not to look at you and think of you a certain way. And we shouldn't judge. I get that, but you know, in this game, if you black or brown, like I say, you got to be twice as good.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's like that, but that's it. But guess what? We can do it. All right.
Who you model your game after? I mean, you got a little swag to you. You know what I'm saying? You play hip hop and your content and whatnot. Who you
It's only one me, man. It's only one me, man.
There's no lawyer.
And look, don't get it wrong. I may look at somebody and say, "Oh, I like this style. I like this." But as far as in the courtroom, it's all me, baby. It's all me. I got my. You have to have your own style in the courtroom. I got mine. I know how to touch people. I know how to make people tell me things that they probably don't tell they lady when they laying down next to me at night.
Oh, you one of them? Okay, well, you slick
I'm gonna
with
get it out you, and I'm gonna make you feel real comfortable about telling me something that you probably don't tell people, like you whiting that you use the N-word. Yeah, I've gotten jurors to tell me that, kept them on the jury and got an acquittal. All right, it's all about strategy. Okay.
How the hell you talking into that one, boy? That's a smooth move right there, boy.
Well, it wasn't. See, I'm in Louisiana. Of course, white people use the N-word. I'm not crazy. Okay, that's not.
They sip from the coffee cup with it.
It's something deeper there that I'm looking for. I'm more looking for the comfort level in when you tell me that you use it. If you're too comfortable in telling me that you use the N-word, I definitely don't want you on my jury. But if you tell me you use it and you give me the context and why you use it, then I can make my own determination. Okay, but he still could be fair. Perfect example. I'm on a jury. I'm in a rural parish. I'm in Allen Parish.
Yeah.
I already know that they use it, but that's not why I'm asking. So when I get to but here's the thing. I'm setting them up. I'm telling them from the beginning, look, I'm going to have to ask y'all some hard questions. We'll get there. But just know I'm not judging you. But I got to know this stuff because this man's life on the line. If you set them up for the hard stuff, you can ask them anything you want. Okay, it's a psychology to it.
He preaching, man. He over here preaching,
so I
man.
Get and I say, well, look, I know we in Louisiana. It was a different times. In different times, people use different words. And now we here. But look, I got to know this because my client's black. You guys white. I got to ask. I lay it on them. I already know if they 50 or older, I already know the answer is yes.
So they hit you
Because
with,
they
you
grew
know,
up in a time when
red flag.
probably their parents used it. And so I've already eased the blow. And they'll tell me, well, yeah, it was a different time and that word was used, but now I don't use that word. It's inappropriate. I already know the answer. Never answer. A lawyer never asks a question to an answer he don't already know. Okay? I already know the answer. I'm just trying to see how comfortable you are in telling me you use the N-word. So I get the one old white man, not even old, he in his 50s or so, he tell me, yeah, I use the word, and I don't think white and black people should be married and be together.
Get him up out of here.
But then he say, but I have 2 mixed grandchildren, and I love them, and I wouldn't trade them for the word.
Grandchildren.
Yeah, I have my feelings about this, but I love my grandkids. I'm going to be fair to your client. I don't use that word anymore. I kept it.
That's
I
real.
got to the next guy. He was about my age, early. I figured he'd be a little more progressive. I asked him the same question. He say, yeah, me and my friends use it. I got rid of him. He said it too comfortably.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Boy.
Yeah, we use it.
I said on my way in here.
He didn't tell me they stopped using it. Nothing. He just said, yeah, we use it.
You got a problem with it, nigga?
Yeah, you got to go, buddy.
I said on my way in here, bro. What you talking about? I just said.
I said, you got to go, buddy. And then what was crazy, the lady right next to him, early 40s, school teacher. I figured, I knew I was going to get a good. She answered just like him. Yeah, we use it. I said, I got rid of her. Oh, shoot.
A school teacher? Oh, my God.
I kept the 60-something-year-old white man. I got rid of 2 white people in their 40s because it's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I know the answer to my question. I just want to hear you tell me so I can peep out how you telling me. And if you saying it too comfortable, then that let me know you don't care for black people at all, and you ain't going to give my guy a fair shake, and you got to go.
Man, you see, hey, everybody, he up here giving you the game right now. This is him putting on what you got to have.
Trial is a game. I am a trial attorney, and I don't play.
There you go. He gave you a little sauce, a little glimpse of the sauce. So if you call Chris, you know what you're going to get. Just straight up.
We ain't playing. I don't blow smokes up my client's butt. You know what I'm saying? I don't blow smoke. I'm going to shoot straight. I'm going to play devil's advocate. Why? Not because I don't want to help you, because I'm trying to think about what they thinking about. And I need to bring it to you before they do. Or they do it in court. And now I got egg on my face because you told them the truth and lied to me.
You can do that with Dank Demo's jury selection. You just go up to each one of them. Have you ever ate a Luther burger?
I'm not touching that, Trey. All right? I told you I ain't touching that, man. How about I'm not touching it.
What burger?
A Luther burger.
I'm not touching that.
What's a Luther burger?
I got.
Oh, you never seen a Luther burger, boy? It's a
Luther burger from the Boondocks. Now you don't want a Luther burger, Cass. They got honey. The bun is made out of donuts, man.
Yeah, Krispy Kreme donut.
You're going to die.
You don't want a Luther burger, man.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you coming in, dropping these jewels on us, man, taking the time out of your day, because I know being a lawyer, very busy. So we really appreciate that. Where can people find you? How can people reach out to you to retain you?
Man, look, 318-541-6103. Email is my name, Chris, Chris, my middle initial K, my last name, Lacour at yahoo.com, Chris K. Lacour at yahoo.com. I'm on Facebook as Chris Lacour. There's a space between the A and the C in my last name. I'm on Instagram as Chris Lacour or Christopher Lacour. And I'm on TikTok under the same name, Christopher Lacour, or your lawyer's favorite lawyer. Man, look, just reach out to me. This is what I do, man.
I know Louisiana keep you busy, period.
Man, look, bro, these young brothers ain't playing. They shoot first and don't ask no questions.
Don't worry. Kendrick Lamar about to come down there for the Super Bowl. How you feel about it?
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. He may be the best rapper in the game right now, and the show's probably going to be amazing, but it should have been Wayne. I'm a Louisiana man.
See what I'm talking about? Wayne and Boosie.
Wayne or Boosie, but Wayne didn't do himself no services by, he shows up to a lot of performances late, a lot of errors during his performances. He dressed like a homeless person. That don't help things. And Boosie just too ratchet, man. But I tell you what, at the Bayou Classic, man, he had the Superdome jumping, boy. If they did have him, Louisiana would love it. But I don't know if the rest of the nation ready for Boosie Boo. Oh,
that's not the crowd, because there ain't going to be too many Louisiana people in the Superdome during the Super Bowl,
man.
Because the tickets is just unaffordable.
I just saw a lawyer say a friend of hers was looking for representation because they Airbnb canceled. Mind you, they already paid $3,000. The people canceled them, gave them their money back, and then put it on the market for $9,000 for the weekend of the Super Bowl.
They probably got that money too.
Oh yes, absolutely, man, absolutely.
I know they got that money, man. We got to get Jonathan on here too, man. We got to reach out to Jonathan, get him in here too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna tell him, man. I'm gonna shoot him your email address and tell him to email you.
Okay. Lord, like I say, man, thank you for taking the time out, dropping some jewels, man. Trey, you got anything?
No, I think Mr. Lacour said it all, man. It was a beautiful interview. Thank you for your time, and we'll see what happens, man, when K-Dot come out there and play that night like that.
Look, it's going to be amazing, but like I said, I would love to...
What about for Mardi Gras? That's what I want to ask y'all. What's the best...
All right, I'm going to put it like this. Everybody talk about New Orleans Mardi Gras, and it is quite an experience, and I've done it all. Went to the Zulu, the Bacchus, all that. And Mardi Gras in New Orleans is fun, but you have to be head on a swivel because a lot of stuff goes on down there. If you want a good time without necessarily having to be so worried about making sure you in the not no wrong place at the wrong Lafayette Mardi Gras on that Tuesday, it's all day.
And the food better.
Really?
And the food Lafayette
Mardi Gras better on Fat Tuesday?
I ain't gonna say better. I'm saying you would
safer.
Be able to enjoy it more because you're not gonna be looking over your shoulder as much.
Yeah, and the food better in Lafayette.
And, that's debatable, boy. They got a big debate in Louisiana right now, but they can cook in Lafayette. He ain't playing. And I will tell you, some of those country Mardi Gras be off the hook. My move Mardi Gras.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Paige DeSorbo, the co-host of Giggly Squad. I have exciting news. McDonald's has all new McCrispy strips. It's chicken made for dipping. Tender, juicy white meat chicken with a golden brown, peppery breading. It's chicken so good it deserves its own sauce. The creamy chili McCrispy strip dip, a sauce that's creamy, savory, and sweet with a little heat. But it works with any of our sauces. I'm personally a barbecue sauce girl. Even sometimes I like ketchup. I'm just like basic sometimes. But I also need it in addition to any new sauces I'm trying. With a new creamy chili McCrispy strip dip, it's chicken made for dipping, only at McDonald's.
Man, off the chain, man. If you can get into them little small towns when they may only have one big event, St. Martinville's Mardi Gras on that Sunday. Oh,
are you getting involved with the festivities for Mardi Gras?
We'll see, man. I'm slow motion. I be off of work, so I be at home. We ain't nobody else celebrating. We get 2 days off of work, so I might be at home, man. But if I do anything, I wouldn't mind. The Zulu is always fun. See if you can get
that's huge.
And
I got hit in the head with one of them things. But
man, look, New Orleans is fun too. You just gotta have your head more on a swivel and make sure you
definitely
not in a place where you not supposed to be, because they'll start randomly shooting out there. So you gotta be mindful. But other than that, New Orleans is fun. Lafayette has a good one, and for a small town, my moves. Nice.
I'm gonna have this show when I get out there. My last joint, and we can leave. I know Nova looking at me like, boy, you don't shut up.
No, it's his time.
Did y'all test drive the Louisiana Popeyes Don Julio collab before it went out to everybody?
Stop it, man. I ain't messing with that, man. It's just chicken, man.
The first day of Black History Month,
man. They went too far. It's just chicken. It's just chicken, my brother. They went too far with this mess, man. Hey, that's a distraction. That's a distraction.
Absolutely, man. First day of Black History Month. Here you.
Here go that Don Julio, man. And then all of a sudden, that's the tequila. Everybody want to drink that now.
Man, that's what I'm saying. They've been around.
Everybody.
Now everybody got the little brown Rasperado bottle, and I'm just like, y'all
You gotta
so
stop following the
faddish.
trends, man.
Because they were just on, what was that one? They used to be on Patron. Then they moved to Casamigos.
Yeah, Casamigos.
And now they own Julio. Yeah, it's just like, man.
See,
what you
might see a spike in cases then.
What you gonna do? But look, before we leave, I just want to say, look, man, please, people, stop snitching on yourself. That's it. That's my last piece of advice. The police want to talk to you and they read your rights. Lawyer, and they will leave you alone, and maybe you won't do their job for them and confess on yourself. Because most times the police don't have enough to arrest you until you confess. And they can lie to get the truth. So if they say they got you on video committing the murder, make them show it to you first. Now, they may have it, and when you lawyer get the discovery form and see it, we just have to deal with it then. But don't confess to them. Please stop, America. I'm begging you, please.
Exactly, man. Appreciate that. Before we go, do you have a pre-trial meal? Like it's like when you getting ready it's like getting ready, like Kobe Bryant getting up. Do you have a meal that
Making
you
the
eat?
potatoes like Jordan?
Yeah.
No, man. I don't eat. I don't sleep. Usually just energy drinks.
Yeah.
That's horrible, man. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm so focused in.
What song then? You ain't got a meal. I know you got a song then.
Jeezy, man. I play Jeezy to get it there.
TM101? That's the album.
I'm
Motivation.
usually, whatever, it depends on where I'm at in what trial or what year it is.
Yeah.
I just had a trial with this last murder trial. That Snowfall album, I was playing
Yeah.
I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I like the old stuff. But if he got something new out and I'm finna go to trial, I'm playing whatever Jeezy got. That brother can motivate the freak out you, man. You get motivated. I get hyper-focused. Especially, what, man, I take this deathly serious. I be locked in. So I don't eat because if I eat, I want to sleep and I don't like to feel comfortable. I like to be uncomfortable because it makes me work harder. I'm on my toes more. And sometimes the stars align and my whole case just works out in my favor. Last murder case, the state's main witness pulled the YSL Woody and got up there for 2 days straight, said, I don't remember saying it. I don't remember saying for 2 days. I was like, what the? I'm up 2 nights straight. Man, I'm going to destroy him. I'm going to destroy him. I'm working all night. Man, they asked him that first question. I don't remember. I grabbed my client's leg. I squeezed it like a death grip. I said, well, you going home. I told him in his ear, you going home. And for 2 days straight, the prosecutor treated his own witness like a hostile witness. I didn't have to do nothing.
Man, do you have a celebratory meal? If you win your case, do you got to?
Sometimes I go get a steak after. Or have a drink. You know what I mean?
You got a expensive bottle of whiskey? You got a scotch? You whiskey, scotch?
Yeah,
What you?
Man, Ciroc, man.
Ciroc boy.
Still drinking that, did it?
I show
Still drinking the
I
Diddy
sure
juice.
am.
Did he need to call you? Did he need to call you? Come represent him?
Hey,
You know what? I would take his case. Yeah.
He'd be a slippery one.
Man, you know what? Here's the problem with Diddy and where he keeps messing up. He's rubbed so many people
Yeah, he did.
bad way with his attitude. And so his hard part with the jury is picking people that's not going to look at him like he's an a-hole because he's a rich guy. All right? And he's done a lot of stuff to himself, just being a jerk to people. But from the indictment I heard, see, this is where the RICO statute gets a little wonky for me. How I'm on a RICO charge and I'm the only person arrested? That makes sense. All these other unnamed individuals, but none of them are, you've arrested none of them. And they've only named one identifiable victim in the plea, even though they tell us it's a lot of victims. And I'm not saying that it's not. But we only actually know of one. It almost feels like a stretch unless they have more evidence. And there's always more evidence. I'm just going by.
Are they waiting on people? I think
Diddy just, like you said earlier, I think he just our distraction to keep us, y'all go focus on Diddy.
Well, you got to think about it. Diddy wouldn't be so much of a distraction. He really should be out on bond, but they had enough evidence to prove he was calling people before they picked him up to try to figure out, well, what you gonna do when they call you? Man, you can't do that. I was just in court. I was just in court on a drug RICO, and some guys got pretrial release and some guys didn't. And a guy at the top of the conspiracy got pretrial, release like a bond. A guy at the bottom didn't. Well, why? Well, you on probation in state court, and you got pending cases open, and this guy didn't have no record. So he got to go home. He gets to fight this case from home. You don't. It really should be at home fighting this case. He kind of stabbed his own self in the foot. Who puts up $50 million and the court say no? And Abercrombie and Finch CEO or ex-CEO within a few weeks later charged with the same thing. Yeah. All he put up was $10 million and got to go home. Well, he didn't try to tamper with any witnesses according to nobody. That's what according to the government did. It was tampering with witnesses. And I guess they showed the judge enough for the judge to say, well, you know what? I can't let you go because you may try to influence the case. Mm-hmm. So he kind of did it to himself. But would I take his case? Yes, I would.
Can you take any federal case? How does that work?
Yes. The good thing about federal court is each court, you just have to get licensed to practice in front of that specific court. As long as you barred in any, if I'm barred in Louisiana, that means I could practice in any federal court as long as I apply to that specific court and I'm already barred in a state. So yes, I could practice federal law.
So there you go. So there you go, guys. If you got a federal case and you need a top attorney, somebody that's going to be a pit bull in the courtroom and want to see you home, call Chris.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And did it hit him up? Did it? Or
did it hit it all the line?
You got one to pick right now. You got
Kel's already convicted, brother. I can't help you after you convicted. They got attorneys that do post conviction. I'm not that guy.
Okay. But
once the toothpaste off the tube, it's hard to put it back in, or you can't. Once it's unraveled, it's unraveled. You understand? So once you're in there, it's hard to unravel that. So I leave that for people who specialize in that.
Okay.
I want to stop it before it happens.
But answer this, am I right? So say I'm an attorney in Florida and I can bring you as a co-counsel, but you can't argue in court, but you can help me formulate, right?
I could work with you, but could I appear in court? No. Could I make legal arguments? No. Can I file documents? No, unless I come in under your license. It's called Pro Hoc Visa. Okay. Where you're barred in that state, you're vouching for me, and on this case, in this case only, I'm allowed to work in the state on this case.
No, have you ever had that in Florida, Nova?
No, I just asking. Have you ever had that?
I've done that for a case in Georgia. I was helping a fellow attorney friend out. Okay. She just needed me as co-counsel.
Okay.
And so we did Pro Hoc Vitae in a civil case in Georgia. So, it depends on the lawyer. Now, you got to know the lawyer you're bringing in on your license, because if they on some, then that reflects back on you.
Hey, man, on Rudy Giuliani, huh?
These bar associations will snatch your license in a heart, especially Louisiana. They don't play. In other places, but in Louisiana, man, look. If somebody complains on you, they will take your license in a heartbeat. So you got to be particular and make sure you follow all the rules.
All right. So this is for real. Final thoughts. Any final thoughts, Chris, for us?
Man, you know what? I just want the parents to start being parents, man. A lot of this stuff that's happening in the community is happening because parents aren't being parents anymore. They're really too much like their children's friends now. And I'm talking a lot about the violence, man. Like I said, how could you not know that your teenager got an assault rifle in the house? Or they on Facebook with double pistols posting and you liking it? Like, help that make sense, man. Stop being your children's friend and be a parent, okay? Because guess what? If they decide to live their life, it's only two places, Kaz, and you know where it is at, man. Grave or the penitentiary. It's very few people I know who live their lifestyle, don't go to both. Very few. I know one person in my life who sold drugs his whole life. He didn't go to jail, but he ended up in the grave because he got robbed. They robbed him and killed him at his own house. So he never spent one day in the jail for selling drugs, but he ended up in the graveyard.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's imperative. You guys are not criminals. You're not good at it. Stop. Get a job. Get a wife. Raise a family. Make some money. Do some investments. Teach your children what your parents didn't teach you. Don't give them what you didn't have. Teach them what you didn't know. That's all I got for them.
What you got, Trey?
No, salute to you, man, for being a man of the people. I do love how you hit home on a lot of things that I was thinking, especially when I was doing my research and looking up your profile and whatnot. You was taking your kids to archery, and I was thinking in my head, like, man, how come as a culture, like, we don't put our kids in, like, stuff like archery and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and, like, different stuff to build them up, life skills, you know?
Well, we in Louisiana, I come from a hunting family. I don't hunt, but I do. So doing stuff like that, we still country boys down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but I salute for you for being a man of the people.
Appreciate
Nova,
it.
I see you learned the lesson of the day. You ain't snitch on yourself when I asked you to do any crimes in Florida.
I learned lawyer,
Man.
Lawyer.
No. Attorney, either interchangeable. Lawyer or attorney. Just say that word. They will leave you alone.
That's the best first 48 was Louisville. That's all them boys said. Everyone that walked in on first 48 in Louisville, they all said lawyer. Yeah,
I can't even watch that show no more. It's just disgusting to watch. It disgusts me.
I believe it. But again, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, stopping, tapping in with us, giving us this knowledge, the jewels. Because most of the time you got to pay to hear a lawyer talk. So he came and blessed us.
And I appreciate you, bro. Not until I saw the email and I saw it was you, I was like, oh, yeah, man, we're going to lock in, man, for sure.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you. But on that note, please tune in, follow us, like, share, subscribe. We're on all social medias, Culture Uncut Podcast, bringing you the latest cultural topics and everything. And on that note, we out. Oh, boy.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ever wonder what your lashes are destined for? The cards have spoken. Maybelline New York Mascara does it all. Whether you crave fully fan lashes with Lash Sensational, big, bold volume from the Colossal, a dramatic lift with Falsies Lash Lift, or natural-looking volume from Great Lash, your perfect lash future awaits. Manifest your best mascara today. Shop Maybelline New York and discover your lash destiny. Shop now at Walmart.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/listen. greenlight.com/listen.